Well, good afternoon. It is Friday, the 15th of June. I am here with Michael Harding of Keller Williams and Rodeo Michael Elrath of Beacon Rock Wealth Advisors for our weekly update on financial markets and the uh, Clark County real estate. Mike, we're getting some glare off your hat. Usually it's the glare off my head we have to worry about, but you're looking like quite the halo here. Real quickly here, the stats for the week. Kind of a mixed week. The Dow Jones off 0.5%. The Nasdaq Composite up 3.26%, and the S&P 500 up 1.6%. Of course, the big news was the Jay Powell. The inflation came in a little light on Wednesday, about 2 hours before his press conference from the meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee. So the 30-year Treasury was off a whopping 19.7 basis points to an annual yield of 4.351, and the 10-year was down 21.7 basis points to 4.213. So, Michael, you were mentioning rodeo. That could be nasty things you do while dancing, but what does it mean in your case?
Well, first of all, happy Father's Day weekend, all the gentlemen out there. Every Father's Day, we go to a rodeo out by southeast flanks of Mount Adams. And my son's a rodeo photographer, and he gets in the arena before the events begin. He works harder than just about anybody on rodeo day. Like I say, he's in the rodeo before the events begin, and he photographs everything A to Z, all the way to the finals, all the way to everybody getting out of the arena when all the riding's done. The bull riding's the last event, and he photographs some of the crowd too, and make sure people have memories. So we're all going up there for Father's Day. So one of the highlights of the year for us.
Did you see the story about the bull that got loose somewhere in Oregon? I think it was Sublimity. Uh, was your son photographing that event?
Well, interestingly, as soon as it happened, he forwarded the video to me. So I got to watch it about as live as you could.
Hopefully that was just footage that made the national news. I saw one woman looked like she got tossed around. She was wearing red.
She got belted, that's for sure. I don't know what happened to her. She's hurt. She's probably still in the hospital. That thing really busted her. So they can do that. They can do that. They're wild animals.
Well,
and it used to scare me. My son gets right up there close and personal with all the animals as they come out of the chutes, except for things like steer roping. He gets back because they have a long runway usually before they get roped and taken down, and so he photographs that just from the side, like you'd watch a football game. But when it comes to the bucking animals and the bulls, he's right up there by the chutes taking photos as soon as the animals and the riders come out.
Well, in our case, a rampaging bull is a good thing, but definitely not if you're unexpecting one as a spectator.
That's correct. That's correct. What I got to tell you quickly, at one rodeo, the announcer calls out to Mike, my son, "Hey, Mike, I think that bull likes you. You might want to climb the fence pretty quick." and he was right. The bull circled around and was coming right after him. But he keeps his head on a swivel, so he was up on the rails, out of the way.
Okay, good. Well,
okay.
Let him be a climber.
How about a couple things here? For our listeners, what Bill and I do is we give reports and information, not stock recommendations, even though we talk about stocks. So one of the things we'll give a brief on here is the IA stocks. They've been leading the market all year. NVIDIA and Apple, huge market caps, and IA's been the play. If it wasn't for IA, the market really wouldn't have done much this year, right, Bill? And
IA or
what do we have
AI?
to look forward to? Huh? AI. Did I say IA? AI. Artificial intelligence.
It works both ways.
In intelligence, it's artificial. So they've really taken on the lead. We're starting to think that the Fed cutting interest rates only affects the bond market currently. So we'll see how that goes. I don't really have
Well,
any individual stocks to talk about except for those two.
just the point is that with interest rates dropping down, growth related stocks tend to do better because growth, the payoff is in the future. So they have the most duration. So when long term rates drop, that's just like a giant bond. Growth stocks move up as
That's
well as
right. Looking at the long term. Good
yeah.
point, Bill.
So even crypto assets, had a pretty good move based on that drop in interest rates.
Yeah.
But Michael Harding, you've got some interesting stuff here. I see about CPI that you
Yes,
that you sent.
I'm bullish, just not as much as your son, Mike, because you're not going to get me near a bull unless it's on a grill. That's
Okay.
the only way you'll get me near a bull. But the market is doing pretty well. The real estate market. I had a family emergency to get to last week, so I couldn't be here for the report. And so, Bill, could you bring up the spreadsheet, please?
You want the spreadsheet or the instant reaction?
Well, let's do the instant reaction because that gentleman, he seems to know what he's talking about. It's Lawrence Young, the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors, and he was reacting to the news about the CPI and or the inflation, the Fed meeting. And so the thing that is important in my mind is the very last paragraph, and that he says the timing of the first rate cut is uncertain, but the long-term outlook is for the Fed to cut interest rates 6 to 8 times or rounds by the end of next year. However, home prices will remain solid, and home sales will pick up, especially in regions with rising inventory. And so that is the perfect segue for the spreadsheet, if you would, sir. Because if you notice, the past 2 weeks, we've had an increase in inventory above what we normally would see. We had 217 and then 214. That doesn't seem like a large leap, but when you compare that to 168 3 weeks ago, then that's a significant rise. And so my suspicion is, especially if you look at line 25, the pending, I'm sorry, the new to market was 217, and if you go down to the pending 193,
You
that's a
mean for this week?
reflection. That's a reflection of the increased inventory. And so you're going to see that happen a lot more if we continue to have rise in inventory, which is what we want this time of year, because with an increase in inventory, there's not as much of a panic buy where you drive the prices up artificially. And when I say artificially, I mean, like a couple of years ago, where people were putting multiple bids on one home, and then the price was $50,000 above the list price. We're not going to have that if we have an increase in inventory. And as I said many times here, I don't think we'll see too many homeowners put their home on the market because they got it at such a low price in comparison to today, but the interest rate is much lower than anything we can expect, probably in this lifetime for the majority of us, because they were at the 2.5, 3% levels. And so now we're struggling to get the interest rates to stay below 6.5. So, but that was basically it. The everything else looks beautiful. If you do notice on line 26, column G, we had a lot of homes get sold in under 30 days. And again, that combination of new to market and an increase in, the high buyer demand because we're going into the warmer months. So, but that should be the norm, maybe not quite that high, but it should be the norm that we have an uptick in, the number of homes sold in under 30 days. Now, at the end of line 30, I'm gonna produce the averages for this quarter so we can compare them to the first quarter. And then what I'll also do is I'll go back and do the same thing for last year so that we can have a comparison of the growth this, between the first quarter and the second quarter of this year compared to the first quarter or the second quarter of last year. So we'll have a great basis to crunch the data and do some comparison, compare and contrast. So a lot more fun stuff to come, but it looks like the market is heating up, and that's a good thing because a little bit of competition and an increase in inventory should stabilize the market and keep it from going crazy.
Hey, Michael, I got about 3 questions. Do you mind if I throw them out?
Please do.
What do you think the median age of these homes has been the last, couple months? Do you have any idea?
No, but I could probably find that out as we're on this call if you want me to find out that answer.
Anytime's fine. Either that or next week. So the next question I have is, where does the price range of the house start to show a lower list or sale price per square foot? Like these are all 300 plus a few dollars. If a house is twice as big as this 2,000 square feet range, would the list price per square foot start to drop off a little bit?
I think it would. I think it's the complete opposite, in my mind. But and I'm not beholden to this thought, but because like say for example, if you get a 5,000 square foot home, um, you're probably going to get it on a larger piece of property
And luxury in the house for the
and the
house.
luxury in the house. So the larger the home, the more high class the amenities, if
Okay,
you will.
that's true.
So
Yeah, that's true.
so that in my mind, and again, I'm not 100% sold on this, so you could probably spend a little bit of time and convince me otherwise. But if you could probably argue that the larger the house, the larger the cost per square foot is, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to a smaller home, because a smaller home is usually like a trailer, like a mobile home.
Yeah.
Um, and those are usually sold. Well, let me see if I can find some real numbers. Um, those are probably 150,000. So
Uh-huh.
not very much,
Yeah,
but with your 5,000 square foot home, you're probably looking at $1 million and up. So
sure.
without looking at some actual data
Yeah,
points, that's just
yeah,
speculation on my part.
yeah. Okay. All right. All right. Well, those are my questions. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, and I'm trying to pull up those data points. So if you bear with me just for half a second longer,
All
I've
right.
got the date range that I used for the most recent report. I remember now.
And
So
then,
yeah, I'll get that for you right away.
all right, while you're doing that, hey, Bill, you got something else on your minds?
No, we're just kind of in the doldrums section right now, of the market, the summer doldrums, Um, the good news, of course, was the Fed meeting, rates staying the same. It's definitely been a change. Beginning of the year, we were at market was anticipating 7 rate reductions, and now we're down to one. We are seeing some signs of um, the market cooling. Well, the stock market and the economy cooling. Um, so hard to say exactly what's going to happen, particularly with the election coming up. But definitely pays to hold a lot of cash and only buy what goes up. If it doesn't go up, don't buy it.
Well, I'll tell you, Elon Musk is celebrating today. Did you hear about his pay package?
Yeah, well, he's basically got to reinstated his pay package. If you've been following that at all, the court in Delaware, there was a disgruntled shareholder that said, "Hey, we're not going to, we don't want to pay Elon Musk the $56 billion that he got, I think, starting in 2014, if he could 10x the stock price of Tesla." Well, the shareholders disagreed with that, and they disagreed with the court. So Elon got his big payday.
What was the
That
number?
might be nice.
I believe it's 56 billion.
Yeah, I thought so. Something like that. Yeah.
What do you got, Michael Harding?
I said it must be nice. Who do I see to get that kind of a pay?
Well, find the right opportunity and work your ass off. Say what you want about Elon Musk. He certainly has a reputation for working extremely hard, extremely long hours. So,
His current big venture is going into robotics.
yeah, that's supposed to be Tesla. He's saying that he thinks that the robotic, the humanoid segment can be worth $1 trillion here in about 10 years. So we'll see if he's able to do that.
I think he said 25 trillion. And the skeptics say 12.
Okay.
There's a lot of other opinions out there too, and this is not a stock recommendation.
Right. Well, you got to be
But I'm
careful.
gonna buy some.
Yeah, you got to be careful on that.
Yeah,
Only,
yeah.
it's tempting to fall in love with the story of a stock or the story of a company, which may not necessarily be reflected in the company in the financials, in the performance.
Yeah.
That's why they climb the proverbial wall of worry. I mean, when uh, Tesla had its big move up until about last year, 2023, it had increasing sales, increasing earnings, and everything else, and it had a great story. Now sales and earnings are kind of out there, but the story remains. So
Yeah.
pays to be cautious.
Yeah. Looking for a new chapter.
That's right. That's right. And reinvention, takes a while. It's not a turn on a dime kind of thing. Don't forget Microsoft, which is now kind of a stock market darling, had almost 10 years of sideways,
Right. Why
dog,
invest in it way back when?
doggy performance.
Right. Yep.
It's only until I caught the next wave. I mean, everybody was talking about what a great thing Cisco would be back in its heyday up until about 2000. That it was going to own everything, including AI. And it's been kind of dogging. It hasn't caught the next wave yet.
No.
Well, gentlemen, I'm not having any luck. And Mike, your question was how the age of the homes, correct?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, kind of like median age of these homes that are getting $300 a square foot.
Yeah, yeah. I am efforting to try to locate that information, but it escapes me at this time, and so I'll have that for you next week. But yeah, right now it's just I can't seem to find it. It's playing
Oh,
peekaboo
it's so
with me.
and I'm pretty sure it's not real old houses, right? Because there's so many new ones in Clark County the last 30 years.
Yes, correct, correct.
And people move every 7 to 10 years. So there's a lot more to be moved and sold and all that if it's not historic houses or 45, 50-year-old houses. But I thought it might be of interest to know if their median age is, 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, whatever it could be. And then put that square footage number to those?
Yeah, I'll have that for you next week, like I said, because I am racking my brain. There's just a certain button or tab that I hit, and I edit the number of things that's displayed on my end, but for some reason it's playing peekaboo with me, and I'm
That's
I'm
all right.
losing.
That's all right. No biggie. I want to ask Bill a couple questions about financing. Bill, is there financing easily available for two, three, fourplex units?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Conventional financing. Yeah.
Um,
You know,
for a first-time home buyer, that it used to be that a first-time home buyer could get maybe a Fannie Mae loan for a fourplex, live in one unit. What's the opportunity there?
that still could. Yeah, that's doable. I've spoken to some realtors. Michael Harding can verify this. It's one of those things that sound great in theory, but there's really not much of a supply of fourplexes out there. They're in very tight supply because people want to do exactly that. Even duplexes are reasonably short, so they will pay something of a premium.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah,
Michael,
Mike,
when you,
I
yeah,
can provide you that information as well.
yeah, when
But
you get a chance,
that would
get that to me. I've got some interest in that, in pursuing that.
that's an easier question to answer. So let me get that up real quick. And so
I'd like to look at a list so you could consider me a prospect if you'd like.
yes, sir. I will well heck, what the heck? Oh, I know what I did wrong. It is this one, not that one. So for that, um,
Bill, while he's doing that, you got plans for this weekend?
Yeah, you're talking to me, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much of anything. Just kind of the usual. Uh, Study finance. Go for an early morning hike. Um, you know,
Yeah.
Probably get a pizza in honor of Father's Day. Not
Yeah.
not not too heavy a one.
Yeah. Well,
where do
that'll
you
be a
get your
nice
pizza
weekend.
from?
Usually,
Hmm.
like Papa Murphy's.
Okay, okay. Well, gentlemen, I have that information
Go
in
for it.
terms of the multifamily. That other one, for some reason, I'm just not able to locate. So would it be okay if I shared my screen?
Yeah. Can you grab it?
It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay, there you go. Try it now.
All right, here we go. All right, guys. Well, this is it right here. And I have it, number of units. I have it descending number of units. So as you can see, these are the actives. And so, Mike, to your question as to the year built, this is what I was looking for in the other one.
Yeah,
For some reason, it just wasn't. I wasn't able to locate. So, you want this in descending order?
sure.
Uh,
So, I'll just leave it right here.
yeah. So 3 units. Scroll down a little bit here. Let's look at the 4 unit kind
Which
of answer.
one?
Um, well, yeah, I think you're the 4. Oh, there you go. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, we got some fours. They're not cheap.
No. But if you can purchase one, then you could be set up, in a good position. My wife and I, during the crash, we looked at becoming uh, investors in real estate, and it just didn't work out for us. And it's not through any fault of our own, but we just gave up on it. And so there was a duplex that we wanted to buy, and it was for, I want to say 160,000,
Oh, really? Wow.
but it needed some work, and we had nothing but time and energy and a hammer and some nails. Um, but yeah, that was an incredible opportunity, and it was the financing that fell through that prevented us from taking advantage of that opportunity. So we just backed away, and we just thought that we just get back at it at another time, and that other time has yet to come. So we're just gonna keep on keeping on and see what happens. But yeah,
Question for you on this list.
yeah,
Um, Next to the year column, there's small numbers, and then the next oh, parking. Okay. I see. All right. I got that answered.
yeah. So because the parking is displayed, because usually that's the biggest complaint.
Mm-hmm.
There's not enough parking, and so, like, say if you try to find a multi-family on Fourth Plane, and you only have a parking spot for each resident,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have a hard time finding happy clients, because they're gonna have to park on Fourth Plane. And if they have little kids and they have to park on Fourth Plane, then that becomes a real big issue.
Yeah.
If they can even park on Fourth Plane.
That's an easy way to weed out kids as tenants.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy on a busy street.
Yeah.
You don't want to live here with those kids. It's a busy street.
Oh, yeah. And no parking nearby. The closest parking, because Fourth Plane, there's not much parking on Fourth Plane at all.
Right.
You
Right.
have to park on a side street. And
Yeah.
so, you know, sometimes you have to park a block and a half away.
Yeah.
Who wants to do that?
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. A lot of considerations with any rental, especially
Yeah.
that in that circumstance.
And I'd like to also bring up holds. So these are the ones that have sold within the last 3 months. I specified the last 3 months. And so this is a look at everything that's been that transaction that has been completed. So you can see that there's some bargains out there. Not much, but there's still some to be had.
Yeah, I see what you're saying though. It's a little scary when you got like 3 units and zero parking.
Right.
That definitely
Exactly.
kind of definitely gives you one pause, or even 4 units and two parking.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then that means it's on street parking.
It means your tenants get to knife each other for parking spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, besides that, what kind of equity does a purchaser, um, owner occupant purchaser need to, generally to qualify for a loan? Most people buying 2 units or four are gonna finance half of it or
Well, yeah, I mean,
40% or whatever.
yeah, as long as you've got history as a landlord, that's going to be the main thing. But you're talking, Fannie. I haven't really checked rates recently, but Freddie Mac, you know, conventional 80%, 20% down. Um, some of the FHA loans can go a lot higher, but you're going to pay mortgage insurance, and the new version of mortgage insurance never goes away. Unlike it used to be able to be pulled off when your loan to value got to 78%. Now it stays there for the life of the loan. So
So is 60% loan, 40% equity, generally an adequate position to be in?
that could be done. Yeah.
Okay.
And Mike, a a a a listings with one, meaning a single family residence, up to
Hmm.
four, meaning a multifamily.
Yeah.
Uh, they're conventional loans,
Okay.
just straight conventional loans. So what you would normally do to apply for a mortgage, you do the same thing. But the benefit of it is that you can use 75% of your anticipated rate rental rate as income to
Mhm.
qualify for a mortgage.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of that part right there. So if you go for a 2 unit, for example, and you want to use, let's say the rent is $1,000, you can use $750 of that a month as income,
Okay.
or anticipated income, and use
Okay.
that to qualify for a loan.
Okay. Do they
But it's the
consider that?
same exact form and everything, same standard. You can do a Washington State bond program if you're going to occupy one of those units, and get a 0% down. But the thing that's about that's awful, like Bill was just saying, is that you have that mortgage insurance for the life of the loan. Now, the only way to escape that is to refinance it to a conventional loan once you get some equity built in, and then you can refinance out of that FHA loan into a conventional loan. But at that time, you'll need 20% down. But if you have that built up in equity, then you can just use that in lieu of cash money.
Okay, thanks. I'm looking at higher equity and cash flow.
Yeah.
So that
Michael, why don't
personally,
you,
but for investors, those are all excellent. That's
Yeah.
excellent information. Yeah, Bill?
I was gonna say, Mike Harding, why don't you quit sharing there if you're done with that
Yeah.
screen? Okay, anything else you gentlemen would like to add?
Happy Father's Day weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a
Happy
good one.
Father's Day to all.
That's right. And so all the kids are happy and healthy.
There we go.
Yeah.